Hi everybody, this is Belinda from Belinda's Book Nook, and I'm here to talk to you about a challenge. I had talked to you guys probably, maybe that was, I've got hair in my mouth, 2 videos ago, and we talked about, I was kind of doing it off the cuff, but I thought about it further, and I thought it would be a good challenge. And a lot of you had wrote in the comments that you thought that would be really cool. And I thought of it when I was going through all those books that I had had on my shelves for a long time, double stuffed and stacked in my bookshelves, that I had many years and hadn't read. And many I lost interest in, some I still want to read, but I have a tendency to get excited along with everybody else when it comes to, social media, and I see things and I want them and I buy them. And so I am a slow reader, so I have to kind of pace myself. And I now know I have limited space, and I don't want to mess up the order that I've already created in my bookshelves. So this is a challenge that will help with the bookshelves, help with the pace and everything. So I sat down and I wrote in my little journal an idea for it. And I thought that I would create an actual challenge for myself. And by telling you guys, that means I have to try to stick to it, right? So I'm calling it Belinda's 90-Day Book Challenge. And it's what I want to do is, like I said, the 2 goals from the challenge are, 1, that I read books I purchase faster. I get books and I have them for years sometimes, as we saw. And I know that I don't like to read books when there's all the hype and buzz around it, but I also can use that for an excuse and continue to buy more books and not get back to those books that I've bought. So I want to be able to read the books faster. And the second one is to slow down my book purchases, because I just ultimately, will continue to buy more and more books. So what I want to do is track the books that I read, and I already track the books that I read in here. But what I'm doing is tracking the, in my journal, because I don't normally do this, tracking the purchase date of the books that I get this year. And I have, from that first date, so whatever the date is, I have 90 days from then to read that book. If I read that book, I get a point. And because I know myself, and I read probably 3 to 4, depending upon a good month, sometimes 2, it might be a bad month, but sometimes ranging between 2 to 4 books a month. So if I get a point per book that I read, I'm saying when I collect 8 points, I can buy a book, which would be 2 months. It could be more than 2 months if it's a slower reading for me. Now, you might have to adjust it if you want to do this challenge with me, because you may read faster. So that might make it so that you might read 8 books in 1 month and be like, ha, I'm getting another book. And that might be fine. But if you are trying to kind of decrease the amount that's on your shelf, then you could do something larger. So maybe yours might be, you get a point per book that you read, and maybe it's 10 books or it's 15 books. After I read 20 books, I then can purchase a book. So what I did in my journal, and I haven't finished it, but I wanted to show you because I haven't put a title to it or any kind of embellishments. But what I did is I created this little, this side here, where I'm going to keep track of the points. So for every time I get a book read, I fill in one of those little squares that you see in these little capsules that go across. And when I get to 8, then I can, I will take that one, I'll probably highlight it or whatever, and I know I have a credit to buy a book. I don't have to buy a book at that time, but I know that I have a credit to buy a book. So I could stack those. I could keep them for a couple of more weeks or what have you, and when I hear something that I like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to use that credit to buy the book. Once you use that credit, it's no longer available, and you have to read 8 more in my count, and then I can buy another one. And what I did over on this side, it's kind of, pardon the handwriting, I wrote my book purchases, which is really a long list, seeing we're only at March, right? But I wrote my book purchases over here, and then at the end of them, I would write the date. So now I can track from what date, how many more, how much, what frame. So if we go past the 3 months with this book, it can't count in the challenge. because you're supposed to try to read them in the 3 months. You can still read the book, it's just no point. So if I get past the date for this very first one that I have up here, and I read it, it can't go over here as credit. It can go in my book journal as a review or whatever else, but it can only go over here if I read it within 90 days. You may change this also to 60 days if that makes it easier for you to, I want it to be tweakable, but I definitely think that for me 90 days is really good, because I always get into challenges, and then I have, as we know, things on my TBR cart and other things that I want to read. So there's always going to be a mixture. So it will definitely slow down the ability to be able to get credits. And I'll keep track, and I will show you guys on here when I reach one and what it looks like, so you can kind of see what that is. I also put little check boxes next to each of the words, each of the titles rather, that I can check off once I've read that book. So I can also see visually how many of the books that I've been recently purchasing that I've actually read. And there's a lot of holes there because I just filled them in. And this is part of the result of that big Barnes & Noble haul that I bought, like bag loads of books at 50% off. So I have a deficit, but I also can look at it as I have a lot of books here that I can choose from that I can use in this challenge. I am assuming that you all have at least 8 books that you've purchased this year that could fit into this time frame of 90 days. So let me know if you're going to do it, and let me know how it goes if you do it, like how long it takes you, or have you gotten to a credit yet. And I will keep you guys posted on mine, because I think this is going to help me, because I am seeing myself slowing down. I have been pausing a lot more when I'm on social media. I will write down in the back here when I'm watching my friends' videos what they recommended, but I don't go out and buy it immediately because I get really hyped up. I love watching my friends' videos and reading posts on Instagram about books people enjoy. But then I forget that I have a whole bunch of other things that I need to read. So I don't want to keep doing that. It's a habit that I've created, and I want to undo that. And I really enjoy my bookshelves right now, so I want to keep them as best as I can. But let me know. It's Belinda's 90-day book challenge. Let me know if you're going to join me and try to slow down the book buying and increase the reading of books that we've purchased. I will talk to you guys soon, and keep reading. Bye.